Hi, everyone, and welcome to AB Conversations, where we will help you CFP your way out of it. A podcast where you get into the minds of a couple certified financial planners on how we think and feel about everyday financial planning questions and what should really matter most to you. A healthier financial life starts now. Hey, Adam, welcome back to AB Conversations. How are you?
It feels like it's been a whole year since we've recorded one of these.
That means they're going to get our best foot forward today, right?
Totally. I hope so.
Rested and ready to go.
That's right.
So happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to all our listeners. We thought that we'd kind of throw a podcast out there today that's going to talk about what an initial meeting might look like, right? And I think we're going to come at this from the angle of, we're clearly taking on new clients. We would want no one to have any misconceptions about how we go through kind of that courting process, right? Us getting to know somebody, and for the purpose of this podcast, more importantly, you getting to know us. So let's just throw some things out there today. What does that first meeting look like? What are we trying to achieve? Where do you want to begin?
Yeah, I think that first step in the process for us, or that initial meeting, is really just for whoever that is to get to know us a little bit better. But more importantly for us, it's trying to dig deeper on what finally brought us together. Why did they reach out to us? What are they looking to accomplish? Are there any, we call them fires, quote unquote, are there any fires that need to be put out, right? Are there time sensitive decisions that need to be made? But really that initial process is, let's get to know them, figure out, what matters to them, and let's start to pair that up with what we do in financial planning and see if they start to fit together.
Yeah, because I think we would probably articulate it too, that there's no script to this type of meeting. Again, you said it well. Sometimes people find us because they're going through some sort of life transition. And I think even the word, hey, we're financial planners, there's misconceptions that, what does that really entail? Do they just do investments? So yeah, I think it's really important for that first meeting to not be scripted. We certainly have the goal to educate people and we want to share our process, but you said it well. That first meeting is really a get to know you on what's got to happen and what matters most to you.
Yeah, and I think just peeling the curtain back a little bit, it's rare that we have people come to us and say, "Hey, I want financial planning. Do you offer this?" It's more so, the life transitions that you mentioned, right? It's retirement's upcoming, or a loved one passed away, or just I have a financial decision that I need to make and I'm looking for some feedback. Or we often see, "Hey, I have these investments, or I have an advisor. I'm not getting great communication. I don't know if what I own is still, a good reflection of what I should be owning. Is this the right fit for me?" Yeah. And then we start to kind of steer that to how we approach things we certainly do investments. We manage investment accounts for people, but we lead with that financial planning so we can see the big picture. Investments just happens to be a portion of that.
Yeah. So I think those first meetings, it'd be important for people to know that typically, like you said, you're going to come in with something, but we're probably going to poke and prod a little bit to better understand really the context around it, not just, hey, I got to make this pension decision. We would recognize through our experience with many different clients and going through this many different times that one example, that one thing, that one decision is not independent of so many other things going on. So we really do want right off the bat, the first time we meet someone, to be able to share our process, which may mean, hey, we can't answer your question today, but let's show you what a relationship looks like that's going to get us to that answer pretty quickly. Because by the way, the right answer for you may be very different than the last person we talked to, right? So
yeah,
it's good to get that conversation started by really understanding bigger picture for people. Again, we may not get through that in the first 60 minutes of meeting somebody, but ultimately that's our goal, right? Find their purpose, find their why. What are they really looking to do?
Yeah, and that word "why" comes up a lot, and that's one thing that I wrote down in our quick thoughts for preparing for this. That's ultimately what helps us give better advice on the back end when we do engage with someone in financial planning. Knowing the why behind, let's say they want to retire at a certain age. Well, why? It's what are they looking to do? Is it a certain thing? Is it what they're trying to get away from with work? Is it they have these other life goals or family they want to spend time with. If we can start to learn more of the why, which I hope that's not unique to us in this industry of wanting to get that level of detail out of people, we can start to craft what we hope are much better, adaptable plans behind the scenes of being able to give advice that fits the why. And it may not just be that straight line that I think our industry or investment professionals in general, it's, well, we need an investment, here's one, connect the dots. It's, for us, it's usually not that simple. Certainly, again, investments are part of what we do, but there are so many variables that go into any, financial planning scenario that, again, knowing the why, the true heart of what someone is looking to accomplish and why, it's really important to us.
Yeah, and putting that puzzle together, I think, is what we're trying to, in some ways, showcase in that first meeting, right? There's absolutely a process to this, which I guess maybe helps debunk one of those misconceptions too. That first meeting is not bring us all your data,
Right.
and let's get really deep into the weeds on everything that makes up your financial life. That's really like the second or third step in this process, right? That first meeting is better understanding, what do you value? Like you said, what is your why? What are you prioritizing? Because I think part of putting the puzzle together for us is then starting to figure out, man, how do we make this work, but how do we communicate this effectively to them? How do they best make decisions? How do they digest this stuff? That's all stuff that we're trying to learn right off the bat, because that's going to put us in a better position to say, you know what, this just isn't a good relationship for us. I think what we do maybe isn't what you're looking for. And that's all part of just going through that time together to say, are we a good fit?
Yeah, and that doesn't, I think you said it, that doesn't always happen in one meeting. So going back to that initial question of, what to expect from that initial meeting, it really is truly a feeler meeting.
It's a date. It's a first date.
Sure, not a blind date, but yeah, it's getting a feel for, our values and our philosophies. Do they mesh? Do they mesh with the client or the prospect's line of thinking? Do we have similar outlooks in that sense to then be able to take that next step? So yeah, I think our goal for that first meeting is to at least get really close to deciding, is this a fit for them? What we do, financial planning, do we think we can add value? And then the other side is, do we think we can work well together to actually impact some change? And then to your point, the next couple steps in that process is going through a deeper dive on data, giving a proposal on financial planning. What does that look like? What does it cost? All of those steps usually come after that initial, let's get to know each other. Let's see if we even have a basis for a second date, and we'll go from there.
Right. And I think that's just it. The way you ended it was what was actually going through my mind. Like, what we want to get out of that first meeting is understanding if we're going to have a second meeting. Right. And I think that's where we could start to showcase, all right, here's what a relationship might look like. And I'm not talking conceptually. Let's show you the tools. Let's show you what a financial planning portal looks like. Let's start to actually play with some scenarios so you kind of get to test drive this relationship, because it really, you said it well. This is not come in and buy something. It's not a sales conversation. Maybe we're selling ourselves, right? Maybe we're selling our process, but if we're going to engage, we're going to put a lot of hours into this together. So it really is important that we test drive this. There's no misconceptions on what we do and how we work, so that if you're going to decide to hire us and we're welcoming you into this Hawes Financial Group family, that we know it's a relationship that's going to be not just one and done, not just one give you the answer to that burning question that you came with with at the beginning. It's going to be, here's the 2 or 3 year plan. And by the way, halfway through, we may be making adjustments. That's cycling back through another planning process. So it's all about goal orientation. It's all about putting you on the right path, but being there with some sort of service model to, kind of support that as things change is important too. So we want to put that all out there, right?
Yep, absolutely. So then I think what we often hear next is, how do you get paid? How do you get compensated? And we can maybe go through that, maybe not. But I think the most important part of that for us is there is no cost to that initial meeting, right? We don't bill for our time in that way.
Right.
That initial meeting, the follow-up, if we decide, hey, this is worth a second date, again, there's no cost to that. We will go through all of these steps till we finally get to the part in the process where we offer a formal proposal, right? We want to get paid as consultants to do the financial planning work. And then at that point, if someone decides, hey, yes, I'm interested, this is a fit, I'd like to move forward with this, then it's known, the fee is clear and
Yeah.
transparent, and then we can move forward. Up until that point, there is no commitment, there is no cost.
Right. So we often say, like, so what's in it for them? Well, test drive the relationship, learn something. And again, we're trying to find out if putting all that work into it's going to be meaningful for you. So, yeah, it's probably fair to say at the end of the first meeting, maybe we have an idea of what that might look like, from a fee perspective. But that's the reason we want to go through steps 2 and 3 of the process, right? Gather the data, then start to actually do, I guess we call it a SWOT analysis, right? For people, what's going well, what's not, how can we actually help? That proposal literally is a list of things that we're going to do for you, right? Because I think in the absence of that, it's really hard to quantify that fee. But that's really
Yeah.
what we're doing. We're like any other contractor or bid, right? If you're going to put an addition on your house, what's that addition going to cost? Well, gee, what are we talking about here? A whole new side of the house? Or are we talking about remodeling a bathroom, right? We got to go through the process of identifying what is that really going to look like so that we can quantify the fee and people would know right off the bat, here's how we're going to get paid. There's not some sort of sales commission on the back end. It's just transparent as can be. And that's really what we're looking to get to.
Yeah. So in our eyes, right, the worst case scenario for somebody to go through that process is, maybe it's a couple hours of their time, right? If we go through that
Right.
process, they decide we're not a fit, or we decide, we're not offering what they're looking for. Yeah, it's a couple hours of your time. You get to the end of that. I would hope that we would have given some value, some education along the way.
You learned something.
Of what they own.
Yeah. So I think if we're talking to people out there going, all right, maybe we've heard of the Haas Financial Group, maybe friends or family have talked about them, maybe they've seen a podcast, seen something on social media, who knows? You're part of our community. If the question is like, what do they do and can they help us? Our response to that is, let's find out. That's the reason to have that first meeting. Truly, if there's really not a lot to be lost other than maybe some time, and like you said, the worst case scenario is you learn something, then let's figure that out. Let's go through it together.
Yeah.
I would say I wanted to bring up other logistical things, right? So
Sure.
We're still kind of in COVID world here. This meeting doesn't have to happen kneecap to kneecap in the office. It can, we can safely do that, but
Sure.
These first meetings can be a phone call introduction. It can be a Zoom meeting, whatever is comfortable to get that ball started.
Yeah, I think for us, selfishly, Zoom would be better than a phone call, just because you can put the face to the name, you can see facial expressions, right? There is definitely a benefit to that, if not, face to face in the office. But yeah, we are flexible when it comes to that, and certainly we would rather somebody reach out over the phone than not reach out at all. We're here to help. We want to help people through this process and at least spread the word of financial planning, even if they decide not to work with us. We're happy to be a resource for those around us.
I actually think that's a great way to wrap it up. There's plenty of content that we hopefully put on the website that gives people even deeper than what we've talked about today, what our practice is all about, what we value, our 6 core values, the team that's here, kind of the misconceptions about planning and the planning conversations we have. We even have profiles on there on a couple or a person that may be somewhat like you, your phase of life, to start to better understand what that might look like. But yeah, I'd say go to the website, check us out. If you want to have a conversation, you can link to us right through that. Shoot us an email, give us a call. We want to be a resource to people.
Yeah, there's certainly no pressure to go through that process on our end. I know personally, sometimes where it may feel a little bit daunting to even take that first step of reaching out, or
Sure.
It may feel like more work, but from our perspective, get that ball rolling. If the thought is in your head, there's no time like the present. Let us help you go through that process. We'll take as much of the responsibility on our shoulders as we can, or as you're willing to let us shoulder. Let us be that resource.
Yeah, and if it's a process you've been through before, you have another professional, I guess the last thing I'd say is, we're happy to be a second set of eyes. We know we do it differently than most people. That's by design, but let's just find out for a fit. So,
Yep.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. See you next time.
You got it.
Hey everyone, Adam and I really appreciate you tuning in. Please note that the opinions we voiced in the show are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific recommendations for any individual. To determine which strategies or investments may be most appropriate for you, consult with your attorney, your accountant, and financial advisor or tax advisor prior to making any decisions or investing. Thanks for listening.